Hey, it's Tina and I'm here in my own kitchen today. I wanted to share with you a very simple and easy salad that I like to make for myself that you can have hot or cold and it'll last you a couple of days and it's very good for you and very healthy. We're going to work with quinoa. I don't know if you've maybe heard of quinoa. It's kind of spelled funny. It's Quinoa and it comes in a box similar to this. What quinoa is, it's a super grain, is what we call the super grain, and it comes from back in the ancient Inca days in South America. They called it the mother grain, and today we call it the super grain. And the reason is it has 4 times the amount of protein that you'll see in brown rice or other grains, and it is completely gluten-free. And since I found out recently that I have severe food intolerances, quinoa is one of the grains, and actually the only grain that I can eat. So it kind of does my pasta fix and my brown rice fix. So for those of you who are intolerant to gluten, this is a great substitute. And I've already made the quinoa. It actually looks like a pasta. It becomes translucent and the germ of the grain is there, and I've actually have it in this bowl and you can see it, and you may have seen it, but it looks kind of like couscous, but it's translucent. So I've made it. All I do is put it in a soup pan or a stock pot with 1 cup of quinoa. I turn it on and toast a little bit. You'll hear it start to pop. It just brings out the nutty flavor in the quinoa. You don't have to do that. It literally takes 20 minutes to cook, so you can get the rest of the meal ready while you're waiting. But you put it in a stock pot. 1 cup of quinoa to 2 cups of chicken stock is what I actually use. A low sodium all natural chicken stock. You can use water if you'd like, or you can use beef stock. It's completely up to you, but we're going to put chicken in our quinoa today, so that's why I use the chicken stock. Cook it for 20 minutes till all the water is absorbed, and then I throw a tablespoon of Smart Balance butter and a pinch of salt and a pinch of black pepper. So it's ready. It's a little warm, and we're going to go ahead and add all of our ingredients and show you this great snack. All right. What we're going to do is I'm going to use some basil and some parsley today. So I love that because quinoa takes on the flavor that you give it. And I'm going to use some flat leaf Italian parsley. I like the flat leaf better. I think it has more lemony flavor. So I'm really just going to go ahead and chop this up. So let me put my quinoa over here. I'm really going to go ahead. Honestly, I'm really just mincing this up. Doesn't have to be perfect, just a quick mince. I just grabbed a handful. I like parsley. I like the freshness that it gives, especially if you are eating the quinoa cold, which you can, and it tastes great. That's why I'm using that. Shouldn't have put that over there, huh? All right, let me just actually keep it right here. All right, so in goes our quinoa. Excuse me, in goes our parsley into our quinoa. And the next thing I'm going to add is fresh basil. I love fresh basil. I just love the taste of it, and I think it adds onions, and I've cut the tops of those. So I'm going to go ahead and add the tops of my green onion, and it gives it a nice little crunch. So throw that in there as well with our parsley and basil. And then the bottoms of green onions, these little guys, a lot of people don't like to use them. I like them. There's a lot of flavor in there. So I'm just going to chop off that little hairy piece down there. It's like someone's hair sticking up, and I'm just going to chop them. So some scallion right in there with the tops of those. It's great. I'm also going to add about a 1/4 cup of walnuts. I like the nuttiness and I like the crunch and the texture that it gives. So we're going to add that in there. Lots of great flavor so far. You can also add a leek. A lot of people don't like to use leeks because it's not as simple, or you're maybe not as familiar with an onion. I'm actually going to use a leek. They come looking like this. I've actually cut the bottom off. The bottom looks very similar to the bottom of a green onion from the onion family. And then what you do is I'm going to slice it right down the center there, and I'm going to cut off the tops. I can use that for later if I like it for stock, or you can just throw it away. I'm going to go ahead and rinse out there. Sometimes when they pull the leeks out, they don't get all the dirt, and the dirt gets stuck in the layers, all that grit and sand, and you definitely don't want that in your salad. So then I'm just going to cut these leeks up. You don't have to use all of it. Just get a nice crunch. And I like all the crunch. I like the onion. I like all the flavor that adds in there. It's gonna be great. And then I'm grabbing my chicken breast. I love rotisserie chicken from the grocery store. If you get the salt and pepper one, they haven't put a lot of seasoning on it, and this is super simple. You can grab it from Whole Foods, Publix, anywhere. I've just taken the breast of this rotisserie chicken. It's actually cheaper and easier than making it for yourself at home. So all I'm going to do is I'm just going to chop through the breast of this rotisserie chicken, and then I'm just going to chop it into little bite-sized pieces, like so. And I'm going to add my protein. If you do not want the protein or you're vegetarian, you can add tofu. You can also just leave it without the chicken. If you would prefer, don't add the chicken to it. Leave it plain, and you can eat it just without the chicken in. You can add, I like adding sometimes craisins. I like adding sunflower seeds. Anything that I would normally put into a regular salad, I like. You can also, I've not tried it with tomato sauce. You might want to try that because it is kind of like a pasta. But I just like it this way. It's super simple and super easy. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and stir all this together. It looks so good. I've got the walnuts in there, got all my flavors. Actually, let me just dry my hands off. And I'm going to take a pinch of pepper, black pepper, and a pinch of salt. And I'm using sea salt, so it's coarse ground sea salt. Just get it all in there. And you have got yourself a very simple, very easy quinoa salad that you can have hot or cold. All you have to do is throw it in the refrigerator, and it'll stay for about 2 to 3 days. Probably won't last that long, but try this. You can also find out more recipes at www.eatfitlivefit.blogspot.com. You can also go to www.shapingconcepts.com for some of the other services that I offer. Please leave a comment on the blog. We would love to hear your feedback if you found any other great uses for quinoa. Let's just share those with everybody so that we can all live a very healthy and flavorful life. I hope you have a great day, and I'll talk to you soon. Thank you.